Hello all, Onigato here for Oni in the Garden, and let's take a look at what's been going on in let's see, it's been about 3 months since I last posted a video. So, first and foremost, I actually have a GoFundMe. I'm going to put it down in the description. We have had several disasters happen one right after the other. Mostly having to do with power and water. Just before Christmas, we had one of the filters for the water tank burst, and that drained the entire water tank under the house. The house itself is fine. The tank itself is fine. The filter was pretty easy to replace, but the water pump burnt out. So we had to go replace the water pump. Well, that wasn't cheap. $250. To prevent that from happening again, I've had to jury rig a heat lamp underneath there. I had a one of those little space heaters, but the space heater was going to be too big, and had to go down to a little heat lamp. The heat lamp seems to be doing okay, but it uses a lot of power, and unfortunately we just don't seem to be able to maintain power for very well, even though we're getting the I'll turn around and show you solar panels here in a minute. They're doing okay, they're just not great. So that, the little heat lamp and everything else, that was basically incidentals. I'm not worried about those. That was just nothing. After that, the solar charge controller decided to completely fail out on me about 2 weeks ago. And by that point, I already had the GoFundMe going, and it was already bringing in a little bit of money so I can get some other stuff going. But yeah, money got rediverted over to a new charge controller, and that was $500, nearly $600. So yeah, that was not much fun. The last piece of the GoFundMe, well, not the last, but the second big piece was I've had, since we moved out here, as a gift from one of the people at the church, I have a 12-volt wind turbine that I can mount and get set up. Now, I've had the turbine, I just haven't had a way to get it mounted. The pole that we've been using for the Wi-Fi is one of the pieces of the puzzle, and you can kind of see right there, can't even tell if my finger is pointing at it, right there, 2 more pieces of that puzzle. And if we take a little bit of a wander, hopefully you can kind of see it here, this is the concrete pad that I just poured. Never mind the fact that the pipe itself looks like it's not going to come out. It will come out eventually. The straps there are specifically there so that it can anchor to the pad. I will be reinforcing the straps. However, the U's that those anchors are built on go clean down into the concrete by about 4 inches and are into the mesh that I have used to structure into the concrete itself. So they're not going to pull out, not for anything. So that's the tower going in. Guy wires, I have guy wires, I have the hooks for the guy wires. So that's a good start there. And hopefully with this turbine on, we can get a little bit ahead of this massive headache that is my power situation. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I've got a video already up, but the panels got raised. They're sitting on these refrigerators, and they are strapped down to that gigantic bar. That bar is about 400 pounds of just steel or aluminum. I'm not sure which. But they're bringing in power reasonably well. Unfortunately, it's not enough power to run a space heater, and it's not enough power to make sure that my pipes don't freeze again. So that's what the turbine is there for, and why we're trying to get a little bit more money on the GoFundMe. We still got about another $1,500 to go on that, so that we can make sure that we've got everything covered, because I still want to get those solar panels tied into the system. Those need to go on the roof, and that's going to take mounts and everything else, and that's where the other $1,500 is going to go. If I have anything left over at the end of it all, it's going to go into a well somewhere. So yeah, let's see. I want to take you guys inside now in just a moment, and we'll show you what's going on in the inside garden. Nothing going on the outside garden right now, just because, well, the outside is, we got snow like 3 days ago. And I know it looks nice and clear right now, but it's actually relatively cool right now. It's I think 42 right now, and that's the high for the day, because it's late afternoon, and we'll be dipping down into the teens before morning. Okay, inside garden. This is, we had a tomato plant that came from a couple of tomatoes. They were just growing inside the tomato plant, the tomato fruit itself. So threw a couple of the plants down in here, and well, one of them's actually doing really, really well. Got some flowers on it even, and maybe some suckers, but I'm not even going to maintain this thing. It's just a nice little, if it blooms, it blooms. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The clover down here had some problems with aphids. I think it's gotten just too cold for the aphids, but not so cold that it's killing the tomato, which is good. Cilantro, which the boys planted out. It looks like it's actually going to seed, which is good. Inside, mini greenhouse that I had to build. Excuse the mess. We got some stuff going to Goodwill eventually. Some carrots in here that they don't seem to be doing too well in the cold. So we're just going to see if this little greenhouse thing works better for them. I do need to water that again. But yeah, there it is. If you can, share the GoFundMe out. If you really can, donate a few bucks. But thank you all, and we'll talk to you all next time.